foundation for your little one? Lozi Christian School is now admitting children from 2 to 6 years old from January 2025. At Lozi Christian School, we understand that every child is unique. Our qualified and experienced teachers ensure that each child gets the personalized attention they need. Our beautiful classrooms are designed to stimulate learning and spark curiosity, offering a rich environment that caters to every child's developmental stage. And we provide balanced meals, snacks, and lunch to keep your little one healthy and energized throughout the day. With a Christian approach, we focus on the holistic growth of every child. Give your child the start of a strong start in life with a school that truly cares. Enroll today. Don't miss this opportunity to give your child the best start. Visit us off Kasarani Mweki Road or call us now at +254 758 396 110. Lozi Christian School, a foundation for the future.
Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, viewers. Welcome to the Monday Morning Digest. Today is the 20th day of January 2025. The year is just beginning, and I want to welcome you to join us for another wonderful episode and session show on the Monday Morning Digest. As usual, Monday Morning Digest, we bring you interesting ideas, interesting guests to talk about some of the contemporary current issues. And today we are still on the subject of, exams, results, education. So that has become a favorite subject of ours. And last week I had with me guests talking about mentoring students. I had a guest from the Kenya Student Christian Fellowship, and also I had another gentleman, Elisha, who is actually a mentor, a student mentor. And so today, like I promised last week, I have with me the students themselves, and one of them is here. And I'm going to be introducing, or rather asking him to introduce himself to us. And we're going to be talking about managing student expectations. It's good for us to hear from the students themselves. Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, as you know, is a critical, qualification. Is the place where you test yourself. Is a national, grading level where when you score a good grade in Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, actually you kind of like you step into that place. You really have a very good view of how your career will turn out, and it gives you momentum, direction. I know some people don't quite score the kind of scores they wanted, and it can be very challenging. But anyway, let me leave it there. My guest will be talking to us about his own personal experience. So welcome, and please share with your friends. Join in this conversation, and let's get talking about the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education results and expectations. All right, so my friend, young friend here, Joshua Kariuki. Welcome to the show, Joshua.
Thank you.
you know, you're free to use any language, English, Swahili, Sheng, you know, you're a young man, so don't feel obligated that you must talk in some special language, as long as at least your friends and your parents are understanding what you're saying, and I'm hearing and understanding what you're saying. So you can look at this camera and just welcome our viewers, and also introduce yourself to them. And tell us a little bit of your background and all that. Right.
Thank you, Apostle, for having me on your show today. My name's Joshua Kariuki Musembi. I was in the Mango High School. That's where I did my KCSE. And I started off my journey in primary in Udheru Genesis. That's in Kino. Yeah, that's where I started off in class 6. That's where I can say I started my academic journey. Right. Yes, in class 6 to class 8. I did my class 8 there, and I got a 402. I really say that was a miracle for me. Right. Because I wasn't such of a good performer before I came to the school, to Genesis. Yeah. Yes, and there I had teachers who really encouraged me in faith, in prayer. That's where I got saved. Okay. And that's where I started understanding the importance of the faith we carry today. Okay. Yes, and I got 402. I had chosen Mangu as my first choice. Right. And I was so ecstatic to join Mangu. It was very interesting to join Mangu. Day one, I was so happy. We reached there at 5, and the school was already full of people. 5 a.m.? 5 a.m. in the morning. Right. Yeah, I remember the day very well. It was 2nd of August in 2021. Joining the school had been a dream, a long dream. Okay. Yeah, so when we went there, during day one, it's the normal for every Form 1, confused, but I was happy to be there. Right. Yeah, in Form 1, after a few days, we joined in August due to Corona. Mm-hmm. And after a few days, on the 28th of August, I got sick. Oh, is it? I got sick and I had to leave school. And I thought it would be just a short stint of not being in school. But I left school for a long while, a really long while. Had a couple of surgeries done. Uh-huh. I had my sinuses removed. I had headaches, just frantic headaches. Okay. From nowhere. Yeah. Got my sinuses removed. And after that, I came back to school. I collapsed in school. So I had to go back home for a while. And there, Mangu started becoming not so fun. Right. Yeah, I started looking for options close to my place. I live in Ngong. Okay. So my parents started looking for options close to where I live, because it was too expensive also for them. Every time that I got sick, they had to come from Ngong to Thika, and that's a long distance. Right. Yeah, so it started becoming not so interesting to be in Mangu. Started to have thoughts of leaving, but then again, come back to the issue of faith. I went to Mangu every single day with faith. Okay. I had headaches, just go and pray, and I'd go back to class. Okay. And I believed all would be well. Yeah, and I progressed with my journey from there. From 2 came a knee injury. I had a knee injury. Okay. Ligament fractured in my leg, my left leg. Okay. So I also wasn't in school for a while. Uh-huh. Came back to school with crutches, and I still persevered. Okay. I decided I was not leaving Mangu. It was not an option for me. Okay. Yeah, and from there, my performance wasn't top tier, as we would say. Yeah. I didn't have good performances. So in Form 3, my parents and I decided we were not getting attacks anymore. Right. Decided that I will stay in school no matter the case. Yes. So in Form 3, that's where I decided to pass. That's why I decided to start my academic journey. Form 3 now? Yeah, in Form 3. Okay. So in Form 3, I started working hard, putting in effort, had sleepless nights for quite a while. And that's where I got my first top 10 in class. Wow. And things started paying off. Yes. Yeah, so it started becoming nice to have that rush again, that feeling of energy in you. Yes. Yeah, so in Form 3, after working hard, in Form 4, yes, became a nice experience for me. Now I was cruising.
Yes.
After working so hard, I was now at cruising altitude.
Right.
Yes.
So you would be like top 3, top 1, you know.
I will, in my class, I will be top 10, but because I'm in Mangu, I'm top 10 in my class and top 100 in the block. Yes.
Top 10 in your class, but top 100 in the
Yeah,
block.
I could be number 8 in my class and number 107 in the block.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, Magu is no joke.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about, you know, a very large number of very brilliant students.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful. Okay.
So in Form 4, I actually became a prefect in the last period of my Form 4.
Right.
Yeah, and doing my KCSE, I tensed.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a little bit of tension because of now remembering what I've been through, what I've been missing.
Yes.
I remembered that I had missed so much.
Yeah.
That the pressure tried to get to my head.
Right.
But I didn't let it. And doing my exam, I really believed that I would pass.
Right.
And I thank God for the A minor that I got.
Wow, wow, amazing, amazing. And you know, your story, you know, Joshua, is very, very inspiring. You know, you get to this school, your health was, you know, quite a nightmare, and you have, you know, scares and all that. And here you are, you still had to kind of find your bearing.
Yeah.
And eventually you found a way of kind of a momentum. It's like a race. You know, you have 4 years, you're racing, you start off very badly. You know, like the way you have a marathon. Everybody watches the stars. You know, they start off, you see like this guy is expected to win. He's still lagging. He's like number 10. The other guys have really made some pace, but he's coming. You know, that kind of thing. Wow, that's amazing. So our viewers, I'm very, very excited, you know, listening to Joshua's story and knowing, I mean, you know, it's kind of igniting my memories. You'll be very surprised that me and Joshua share a school. So when you talk about Mangu High School, it resonates because that's where I also did my high school. So this is a buddy of mine. Coming in several years later, and I'm telling you, it is very, very exciting. Think about when you're in high school, and I hope this story inspires you to revisit your journey, and maybe even if you had a very miserable high school, sometimes you have to forgive, not sometimes, you may have to make peace with some of the misadventures. Perhaps you actually lost your energy, your motivation, you are frustrated. There were so many other external things that were frustrating. You didn't have enough self-confidence. But you've worked through all that and you're where you are. So we all have our journeys, and today we are listening in on what our young people have to tell us, and it's good to hear it from the horse's mouth. And amazing. So Kariuki, I'm very, very excited. I'm going to be hearing more about your story, maybe just asking you to backtrack on some of the, you know, your experiences. But good news is my second guest is here with me, Emmanuel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Emmanuel is here, so we want to ask Emmanuel to introduce himself. And, you know, he was held up a little bit on the traffic. Karibu sana. I had told Joshua here, you're free to speak in any language that you're more comfortable with. If it is English, just project your voice like a nice guy. You know, you are a brilliant young man. So that's the camera. Introduce yourself and then tell us about your journey and where you went to primary, what you scored, and where you are right now. I'm sorry you didn't hear Kariuki's story, but yes, just give us that quick, you know, introduction.
Okay. Hello everyone. I would like to greet all my viewers at home. I am Emmanuel Baraka. I'm 18 currently. I finished my Form 4 at Meru School, and God helped me to get an A plane in my final studies. So for my kind of trajectory at education, it wasn't quite bad, it was a bit smooth, but I have to mention mine was a bit spiritual rather than just the physical part. Because physically I could study, I could excel, but it wasn't my potential. I could realize this wasn't it. So for example, let me give one case scenario. When I was doing my KCPE, primary Moi Forces Academy, the exam was taking 3 days, but on the second day I had a terrible headache.
Okay.
From the first paper down to the third paper. And it was so much of a trouble to me that when I was doing my exams, it just tiring me out, draining me out. And I'm feeling like I can't continue with this. You know, I have to get some medication, and you're in the middle of an exam room and you have to keep on because you can't, the movement is restricted. So actually, I came to realize that when my results were out, that second day, the papers that I did that second day were the ones that made me to get an overall marks of 397.
Okay.
So you can see that 3-mark deficit.
Oh, you had a target of 400.
Yeah, 400 was was my target. It was something acceptable for KCPE standard.
Okay.
But now somehow something just happened.
Okay.
And the disruptions came in and I missed the 3 marks.
Okay.
So of course, as our standards have it, if you miss 400, you're not able to get your first choice.
Right.
So we looked for where else I could get a better choice, and that's where I landed at Meru School. For all Form 4s of my year, of course, high school wasn't easy. We faced crash programs, we faced floods. In the 3rd term, the teachers weren't there. So as in, it has to be self-motivation. I remember a video that I was watching of Miles Monroe. He said that self-motivation is the most powerful kind of motivation, because you don't have to depend on external influence to push you, people to push you forward. If you just do it yourself and rely on God, He'll keep you moving on, He'll keep you very focused, and that is how God helped me to make it through. I have so much testimonies even from KCSE. I can just say that it's been God all through, all through.
Wonderful, wonderful, Emmanuel. I'll be coming back to you. Definitely, you have amazing stories to tell us. We will make sure that you give us all the stories. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you're joining this conversation, just in case you're just joining now, we have 2 young men here, and this is Joshua here, Kariuki, and he was in Mangu High School, brilliant young man, and it must have been amazing. It must have been very, very amazing. So Joshua, we will come back to Emmanuel. You know, a lot of people, when they think about, say, for example, parents sometimes really are the ones who really suffer. You know, you are in school, you are happy, you are having fun with your friends and studying and playing when you get a chance. That's how comes you got your knee, injured, because you're just being playful. So most people want to hear what exactly, how do you, what's the secret? You know, it's a very funny question because there isn't any really secrets. Just show up in class and study and do your assignments and read the books. But what do you think was the most significant point in terms of developing your confidence and getting to the place where you feel that, yes, I think I can hack this thing? At what point? I think you alluded to it, but give us a little bit of that. Was it just one moment, or it was kind of gradual? You began to gain the confidence, maybe tell us about that.
My success was built on a couple of pillars, but at the center of it all was a point. Let me say it was a point.
Yes.
My success was convergent. It was from a point of realization that I was fighting a battle.
Okay.
Not a physical one, but a spiritual one.
Okay.
Yes. I realized that all this, the sequence of events,
right,
were a manufactured attack, let's say from the enemy.
Okay.
to derail me and to curtail the purposes I had for my life.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I realized that I was fighting and I had to fight my own battles. My dad's a pastor.
Right.
And my mom's a Sunday school teacher.
Right.
So they realized that and they helped me fight that battle, but they told me I had to fight it for myself. I had to go about it for myself.
Okay.
So that's the point where I would say that I had all this figured out for a second there.
Right.
I figured all this out.
Yes.
And I started fighting my battle. Yeah.
And you started praying.
Yeah, I started praying. I would have times from primary also, in class 6, after I got saved, went to the director of our school. My school was a private school. And we were building, that time CBC was being introduced, so he was building classes. So there was a section of the blocks that weren't done. So there was a room.
Yes.
I asked him to give us a room.
Yes.
As class 6 students.
Yes.
A room where we'll go and pray.
Right.
And he was gracious enough, he gave us a room for the time being.
Uh-huh.
And that's the room we used for prayer. Every time after breakfast, go rush there, you pray. And I carried the culture to Mangu.
Right.
I carried the culture of prayer to Mangu.
Uh-huh.
And we have gardens outside the amphitheater.
Yes.
Where you can go pray. You have a CU room, the chapel. There's so many areas where you can go pray. We call it the Peace Corner.
Yes.
You have a chance to go there and pray, and that's where I fought most of my battles to my success.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That is absolutely amazing. I mean, really, those of you parents that are watching, I tell you, I think you see some of the parents, you get so frightened. You think your son is so young and clueless. But these guys can hack it. They can actually challenge the devil himself and pray and win battles for themselves. So, parents, stop freaking out, thinking that your son is so naive. You must massage him and, manage him. No. These guys can run on their own 2 feet. Emmanuel, tell us, I mean, maybe borrow from Joshua. At what point, you had that primary, at the primary, the fight you had in the middle of your exam.
Yeah.
You had this massive headache, you're doing your second day, you battled through somehow, at least you didn't stop, and you medicated yourself through the exam, and then you got your 397. That's a very good score, by the way, even though you missed the 400 that you really wanted. And here you are. Then you arrive in high school. Same. You also went in August, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was that Corona thing. It was crazy because the whole system had been turned upside down.
Yeah.
So then you started your battles, like Joshua. At what point did you begin to see? I need to fight for myself. I need to really, I have to own my own success.
It started as a trend.
Okay.
And every man has his breaking point.
Yes.
By the time you realize that there's something that you really want, you put all your efforts in and nothing comes out.
Right.
There were scenarios where I would do trials for a contest and I miss 1 point.
Right.
A single point to qualify.
Right.
Other times in my exams I'd miss 3 marks to the next grade.
Right.
So I started to notice a trend. Every exam, especially since Form 2, every exam it's like a down, I'm going down. I'm nose diving instead of rocketing to where I want to be.
Right.
So I started to notice this trend is not, it's not acceptable.
Right.
It's something that I wouldn't want to have because I know at the end point in my Form 4, I want to be somewhere there.
Right.
So that is when I came to realize that, I came to remember, flashback. My forces down at that desk on the second day.
Yes.
Something like this started happening and it messed me with just 3 marks.
Okay.
So I started realizing that I have to stand my ground. My parents really emphasize on spiritual maturity.
Right.
So I have to realize that I have to put my foot down. And because I'm an heir of the kingdom of God, it is me who has authority.
Yes.
I have to establish my authority and say, in education, I shall succeed. Whatever kind is pulling me back, I won't accept it. Let me tell you a funny story.
Right.
When I was in kindergarten,
Right.
The first 3 classes there,
Yeah.
I used to keep saying, I don't want to be number 1, I don't want to be number 2, I want to be number 3.
Okay.
And I remember I used to come at number 1, and then I'm called at the assembly and everyone clap, and you're just happy outside, but inside I was like, me, I want to be number 3. I don't know why I kept saying that when I was young.
Yeah.
But then high school, number 3 in my class, number 3 in my class, number 3 in my class. The stream was not so bad, but for a school that has like 11 streams in Form 4, if you're number 3 in your class, you're just somewhere above the top 100, you know. You want to be somewhere like Inisa, if you're number 3 in your class,
Yeah.
and you're having those kind of small mistakes to go the next grade, you're pushed down, because at such a large population, 1 point can mean a lot.
Yes.
So that's when I started to realize that this thing, there's something following me that wants to, push me down, that wants me not to realize my potential, what I wanted to do. So that is when I started my prayers. I started prayers, started a bit of fasting, going to prayer mountains, and dedicating my life to God. I'm saying, God, fight for me, because right now I can't do this without you. I'm trying everything that man can. And I know that right now it is you that I need. No one else, nothing else. Called on my parents, we came to arms, all of us. We met the man of God, he prayed for us, because also realized it's kind of generational.
Yes.
When I look at my background, that's that story of number 3.
Right.
So it's a process. I have to erase what I said, because as a young child, I'm speaking things that maybe can lodge themselves in the spirit somewhere and come to attack me later on.
Right.
So I have to erase what I said, cancel them by the blood of Jesus, and I start speaking good things into my life, because there's power in the tongue. I have to speak that I am the best, I'm the head and not the tail, I can do all things, so things like that. So like in KCSE, let me call it my main verses. It was Proverbs 16, 1-3.
Okay.
Whatever you do, just make sure God is involved totally.
Right.
And that is what helped me pass through, because if I give a testimony, during the first week, it was actually the first day of KCSE,
Yeah.
we were doing chemistry, paper 1,
Right.
that afternoon. And there's a way they have arranged the indexes from the first index is maybe at the door next to the hall, then go down and then you come up again. So due to the spacing, we have like 40 by the first 2 rows. So I was in the second row. And the second row is near to the windows. So when I'm doing my paper at 3 p.m., I don't know, it's about something about optics. So the sun hits at the windows reflect on the paper is so white, reflects to my eyes, I can't see a thing. So because of the regulations of the exam, I can't move my position instantly. But I'm trying to raise a complaint, I can't see, I'm trying everything humanly possible. It's not working out. So it really disturbed me, that paper really disturbed me actually. So at the end of the day, I told the dean and the people responsible that we need curtains on this side, because those first 2 rows we were being disturbed pretty much.
Okay.
But now where I was like at the focus point, at the center. Whatever angle I tried, at least others would like bend like this and then would write something. But for me it was like I was surrounded. So I saw I couldn't continue like this for the next 3 weeks. I tried raising some complaints, but it takes time. You can't just you can't just change the setting of an exam room at once. So I came to realize that at least for the first week, I'll be on my own. But the Bible says that the name of the Lord is our fortress.
Yes.
So that night I just prayed and told God, Joshua commanded the sun to stand still, and it did. All I ask is that nature works for my good. Just a short prayer, and I took my rest. From the following day to Tuesday till Friday, Meru school is in Meru, of course. It was raining constantly. If it's not raining, it's cloudy all day. You just look at the windows at 3 p.m. and you just smile and say, thank you, God.
I'm going to hold you there. Yeah, I think we'll come back to that testimony. That's an amazing testimony here. Let's take a short break. I don't know. I am just listening and absorbing these amazing testimonies here of these young men, high schoolers. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So let's take a break. When we come back, we will return to that conversation. And don't go away. We're coming back here shortly.
Explore a world of knowledge at Elevation Bookshop. Dive into topics like marriage, money, and spiritual growth with our vast reading materials. But that's not all. We are thrilled to introduce new additions like stationeries, notebooks, modeling clay, dictionaries, pencils, kamusi, and more. And calling all students, gear up for success with our back-to-school items, providing you with everything you need to excel in every subject. At Elevation Bookshop, we're here to assist you in finding the perfect resources for your journey. Do you have specific preferences or looking for something special? Visit us at Kenya Cinema Plaza, mezzanine floor, or contact us on 0748 902 225. Elevation Bookshop. Enrich your life. Life Church International is training Christ-like workers for Christ-like Church through Gospel Light College and Nation-to-Nation Christian University from Dallas, Texas. We offer a certificate, a bachelor's degree and master's degree in biblical studies and community development. The training will prepare you for ministry and the work of God in the church and the body of Christ. Through our different ministry partners, we have classes in Nairobi, Kajiado, Kirinyaga, and Machakos. Contact us through 0748 006112 for the ongoing registration for January 2025. Explore a world of knowledge at Elevation Bookshop. Dive into topics like marriage, money, and spiritual growth with our vast reading materials. But that's not all. We are thrilled to introduce new additions like stationeries, notebooks, modeling clay, dictionaries, pencils, kamusi, and more. And calling all students, gear up for success with our back-to-school items, providing you with everything you need to excel in every subject. At Elevation Bookshop, we're here to assist you in finding the perfect resources for your journey. Do you have specific preferences or looking for something special? Visit us at Kenya Cinema Plaza, mezzanine floor, or contact us on 0748 902 225. Elevation Bookshop. Enrich your life.
Welcome back. This is the Monday Morning Digest and your favorite show every week in the morning. And today we are having a conversation. We are listening to the students themselves, the students' perspective after the high school exams, the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. Sometimes I mix them, you know, I say Kenya Secondary Certificate, but I have now been trained. It is Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. These young men here with me, battled their way last year, and they did amazing job. Both of them scoring A. Joshua here got his A minus, and Emmanuel got his A plane. These are real serious, students, brilliant, hardworking, and but I'm just so amazed to hear their personal journeys and their testimonies, how they had to battle, they had to really work it out in their own mind, and also discover the power of prayer and speaking life to themselves, encouraging themselves. And so it's amazing. You'll be very, very surprised. Some of you parents, you probably think, oh man, your son, your daughter, these they have to be hard held when they go to school. You are scared. You think this kid will not hack it, or you kind of like have to visit them every 2 weeks to see whether they are still work. These fellows have the capacity on their own, and I'm sure here we are listening to their story, and it's amazing. So welcome to the conversation. Let's get back to your story, Joshua Kariuki. Mangu High School, it's a brilliant school. Maybe tell us about the culture there, the level of competition. I mean, I think at one point you mentioned before we went to the break how when you're top 10 in your class, you are like a top 100 in the block. So it's even when you're top one, all the number ones have also to be graded across the block of Form 1s or Form 2s, and you realize you're actually still not the most brilliant. There are other people who are even above that. So how is the culture? What is the atmosphere like in the high school, the academic atmosphere, and what do you think? What did you find unique and different?
And on entering Mangu, my mom, like every mom, is also tensed for you.
Yeah.
Have a separate account of tension.
Yes.
So she prepared me for culture shock. She told me I'm not going to be the smartest person, because in primary you're used to being number one. You're used to being around there.
Yeah.
So on entering to Mangu, I was prepared for it. Mom prepared me for it.
Yes.
And I didn't do any exam in Form 1 because I was out.
Yeah.
Because of the sickness.
Mm-hmm.
And in Form 2, when I did my first exam, I remember I got a B.
Right.
A B plain. It was crazy because I was number 400. This was a shock. I was number 400 out of 600. I was, what's happening? It doesn't seem normal. It wasn't normal. And I was surprised. My parents were shocked.
Right.
But again, this was Mangu.
Yes.
So the competition was very high. And fast tracking to about Form 4.
Yes.
When I got my top 10, my first top 10.
Right.
I think it was in Form 4. I got a B+.
Right.
And I was number 6, I think, in my class.
Uh-huh.
And in the block, I was number 97.
Wow.
That was last year.
Right.
My mom was so happy. She was so happy because this was the first time I was in the top 100.
Right.
And with a B+, the exams there were very difficult. So only 3 people had A's.
Okay.
Only 3.
Okay.
So with a B+ and being number 97, that for her was the epitome of greatness for me. Yeah.
I think I need to tell. I checked out, by the way, Mangu High School, the performance, and I realized Mangu High School had the largest number of A's. You had 107 A's in the past exam. 107 A's. So getting an A minus meant you just slightly below the 107 guys. Maybe you were 108th actually. Let's just say you missed it by a tiny win margin. But yes, I mean that's really an amazing score. All the A's, whether it's A or A minus, those are very, very excellent scores. Yeah, but this is good. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, the competition.
Yeah, the competition was very stiff. But we have a culture of helping each other. You don't leave a brother behind. We call ourselves a family.
Okay, yeah.
You don't leave your brother behind. If I am good at math, you're good at biology, we sit together.
Okay.
My desk mate was very good at the sciences.
Right.
And that time I was struggling with the sciences in Form 2, back in Form 2.
Right.
So if I wanted to read a science, mostly physics was difficult for me. It was giving me a time.
Right.
So I will sit with him and we will go through physics. And regardless of whether we are competitors, we will help each other.
Okay.
Yeah, to rise to the top.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so excited about that. Right. So, Emmanuel, again, tell us, Meru School. Meru School is a great school. I mean, it's got pedigree. It's a school where the who is who have graduated. So, again, fortunately for me, I had a stint not in Meru School but in Meru Technical that time when we were doing A-levels. So we interacted with the Meru School guys. We had a lot of respect for them. So the brand is great. But tell us about the competition and how did you work your way around? How did you develop the confidence that yes, I can hack this? You were telling us a very interesting testimony about how. But anyway, let's talk about the competition, the atmosphere in Meru School. Was it helpful, or were you always on your own and you had to hack it, and people fighting for books and all that? How was it like?
Competition was very stiff.
Mm-hmm.
Was very stiff, but I agree with Joshua. In our school, you actually have a song to remind us that we are a family. It goes like, "You are a family, we are one," so like that.
Yeah.
So the same thing, we have to help each other wherever we are stuck. So personally, I was a physics coordinator. We used to take the evening prep, maybe 1 hour. We do a certain topic that everyone in the class is struggling with, just to increase our grades.
Right.
So we usually do a kind of group of schools exam. We call it MINX.
Right.
So competition was even stiff there than it was at school, because you have to grade yourself at the school level and then in the top tier of 15 schools. So there was usually this kind of celebration that went on for people who were top 100 in the top tier schools, because 15 schools, we have a good number of national schools over there, and then some extra county. So it really took a lot of wits and effort and drive to actually make it to the top 100 of the top tier schools. So in Meru School, it wasn't so bad for me.
Mm-hmm.
But you always want to be up there, because in the school you celebrate the top 10, and then at the top tier, the top 100. But now the top tier depends on the schools that have the most number of students in that tier. So for me, it was actually hard to get to the top 100 of the top tier, because, as I said, if you're number 3 in your class, you'll be somewhere just averagely top 100 of in the school.
Yes.
And now if you're average the top 100 of the school, you're most likely nowhere in the top 100 of the top tier. So you can see it takes a lot of wit, because sometimes you can receive awards and you're like, man, I missed 3 marks to get there,
right,
or I missed a grade to get there, or I'm trying, because it took a long time. We call it principal's lunch.
Yeah.
From Meru School, the students who are in the top tier 100, they usually have a lunch on with the administration.
Right.
So of course, in high school, you eat githeri every day. Not really every day, but when you get a chance to have good food, everyone wants that. This is high school. So
but I think you need to tell our viewers about that story of the principal's lunch.
Yeah.
So there was this, you worked yourself hard so that you can have a seat.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to sit on that table?
I got a chance.
Wow.
Yeah.
You sat at the table, the principal's lunch, of the top 100 pupils, students.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have to thank God for that, because it was a miracle.
Right.
We did MINX, and it's usually set by, it's like a circle of schools.
Yes.
So this time this school sets, another time another school sets. So it's quite challenging from another school's perspective. So you really had to work. I remember the second term, we usually do it every end term. So the second term of Form 4, it was the last principal's lunch, and everyone is driving into it. This is the last one, you have to get it, nini, nini, nini. So there's a lot of pressure. This is the last one before I finish. At least let me get this. So of course, as I had learned from previous forms, God first. God has to be there. Then you do everything humanly possible. So I did it, and I said, God, help me to make this last one. Although I haven't made so much previously. I've made 1 or 2 previously. But this last one, just help me to get it. Then, out of nowhere, the top tier 100, just to God to prove that it was him who raised me, just to prove his power.
Yes.
He made me, you see the number 100 one?
Yeah.
One above that.
You were 99.
The 100th position, now 99.
Right.
And the officials who were allowing us into the event were like, oh, number 99. Okay. But come on in. And that is how I went in.
All right. They were looking at, oh, by the way, if you're talking about 100,
Yeah.
oh yeah, there's number 1. So even the guy who is 100 is also
Yeah.
in.
But now it depends if he's from Meru School, because this is a Meru School event exclusively for the school planned for it.
Oh, okay. So you were number 99
In the top tier 100.
of
But that's
the broad school,
Yeah.
the regional
clusters,
exam.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that can mean in
Yeah.
Form 4 we only have like 15 guys who are in the top tier 100.
Okay.
So
Also, so we are talking about lunch
Yeah.
for the first 100
Yeah.
within the 15 schools.
Within the 15 schools.
Oh, now I see that.
Now
Now
you
I
get
can
it.
see where they are looking at. Number
Yeah.
99, you just made it into this lunch.
So 15 people
Right.
out of like almost 700 Form 4s. That was something you have to celebrate it, because it was hard work.
Right.
It takes a lot. You have to study, you have to revise. And there's a difference between those two, of course. And it takes a lot of drive. You have to, sometimes you transnight. Sometimes even when things are boring, things are not working out, you just have to push yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I am so blessed by your stories. And really, I'm just absorbing that, kind of like really very, very gratifying to hear these amazing stories. And I can tell you there are people that are watching here. Dave Kingola watching. Geoffrey Mashia is watching. These are parents, man. Dave is the one who is not a parent. I know him. Jeff Gichuki, my goodness, Mangu boys. Is this Protasio's son? No, it's not Protasio's son, Jeff. This is Emmanuel, son to your friend Christopher Mugambi and Margaret's young man. He's all grown now. There are some people who actually think you're still a kid. I mean, that's the reality. Here you are. You've done your Form 4. I am very, very, very excited to hear your stories. And a story of hard work, a story of here you are. There is a prize. And I love the way, in Meru School, they kind of created that kind of momentum. They promise you a meal, maybe some chicken. You've been battling with your fellow. You've been battling with your fellow students for githeri. I mean, githeri is good food. Let's not criminalize githeri. It's good food. It is easy to prep, and it's a very wholesome meal because you have proteins and starch. And once you throw in some vegetables, it's great food, very healthy, no question about it, and easy, and it's readily available. So, and it's probably not even like rice. You eat rice, you go hungry in the middle of the night. But my son wouldn't touch githeri. I think everybody who left high school just hated githeri. I don't know. Do you guys have some beef with githeri? We can finish that off.
Actually,
we've done it too much.
Actually, for Mangu, githeri was the price.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we only ate githeri once on Sunday lunchtime, and it was so wholesome in that you could buy avocados. We have a grocery shop, and you could buy chapatis. So that was the price. Githeri was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
So I have no beef with. Actually, I started eating githeri in Mango.
That is good. That's very assuring for the parents, because some of you parents have been thinking that your son is missing chapati so much now. You're going to flood him with chapati the rest of the year, because so that he can, he can revenge, he can deal vengeance to Githeri. But these guys had great fun with eating githeri and all that. Maybe for those of you international who don't understand, is a meal of corn and beans. It is standard in schools, and it's a great meal. It's very easy to prepare, and it really serves education institutions amazingly. Plus, of course, rice and beef and all that. All right, so Emmanuel.
Yeah.
I think we've had your story. Okay, so we've heard your story about the battle for the 100 plates, the principal's lunch, and it was amazing to hack that. So in Mangu, what are some of the ways they used to motivate students? What were the prizes?
First, money.
Okay.
That was the baseline.
Oh, is it?
In every exam, actually, for the end term exams, they will award the most improved, the top 10 in the class, the top 10 in the top actually 100 in the block, and the prefects.
Okay.
So there's this one time, my parents were PA reps. So they used to come to school every Tuesday.
Okay.
So during Tuesday, they come, they award the students after the exam. So there was a time, maybe I was top 10 in the class.
Mm-hmm.
I was top 100 in the block.
Mm-hmm.
I was most improved. Actually, I don't know what was wrong with me actually, because in midterm exams, I felt like midterm exams were too hard for me.
Right. Yes.
Because there was just one paper. If it's English, there's paper 1, 2, and 3.
Uh-huh.
We only for this exam we're doing only paper 1.
Okay.
Paper 1's across all subjects.
Yes.
So I felt it very difficult.
Yeah.
So in midterm exams, I didn't usually perform so well. So in every end term, I was the most improved. So I was the most improved, not only in my class, but also in the block, across the streams.
Yes.
So every single exam, every single end term exam, I could be, let's say, top 10 in my class, top 100 in my block, most improved in my class, most improved in my block, then I'm a prefect.
Yes.
So we could have so much money at the end of the day. Yeah. And also, for the top 150, the principal used to take us for breakfast.
Right.
Or we go to a resort out somewhere, just go out with the principal.
Right.
Yeah, most of the times. So we had also a dinner or a breakfast to the principal.
Wow. And so it was a way of, so if you made it at least once in a lifetime.
I actually made it once.
Oh,
it was only once. I only made for one breakfast.
Yes.
And that was the end. That was the end of my Form 4. That was, I think, either the predict exams of term 3 or the end term of term 2. It was the end term of term 2.
Okay.
Where I only made it once for the breakfast.
Right.
And once for an outing with the principal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. We are talking here with, these sons, and these our sons and men. It's an amazing story. So, yes, high school is fun. It's a place where you prove yourself. It's a place where, you test yourself, you test your capacity, and you test life. Because in general, you have a life, you're on your own, you're trying to work out your own identity, your feel of who you are, what you are capable of. I mean, you're given an opportunity to study and actually see results. So you study, you are tested, and you can see results. I know there has been a lot of talk about, maybe exams are punitive, we should eliminate exams. Do you think we should remove exams from life?
I don't think so. I think that's just a measure of how much you've done. Most of the times that you can feel that measure is wrong, but if you find anything that's in an exam and it's in your books, but you haven't seen it, that's now your fault. That's your folly.
Yes.
Yeah, but the KCSE standards, I feel like the 4 years, the secondary education is one of the most rigorous processes a student below 18-year-olds can be taken through. It's difficult. You put in a lot. I think Emmanuel can attest. We work harder than our parents most of the time. I don't know if parents know this, but we might be working harder than the guys out here.
Yes.
Because you're up till 2, you wake up at 5, or you're up the whole night because you know, if I'm not studying for this chemistry, and it's tomorrow, it will hurt me. So you study the whole night, you wake up, you sleep 2 hours, you do an exam.
Right.
And passing that exam gives you so much joy. So it's a rigorous process, but it's still a measure of your hard work.
Absolutely. Emmanuel.
I have to agree with Joshua. Exams are very rigorous, but joyful at the same time. Because when you put in your work and you see results, that is motivating. But now if you don't see results, that is very frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's a very good mode of assessment. KCSE standard, it's very good, especially application. It helps you to apply what you've learned. Although most of the times you find people writing they don't know what they're writing. But it helps people to apply, especially to modern life scenarios. So I think exams are there, but they should at least be moderating for someone who is still in high school.
Okay. So you wouldn't advocate for them banning exams, right?
No.
Okay, yeah, because it removes the joy of putting up a fight, right?
The reward mechanism.
The rewards.
Okay, absolutely amazing. I mean, especially the lunch with the principal, you know, that in any case, how do you then determine if you're going to throw a lunch with the principal and all that, whatever motivation it is, and even those people who craft those kind of ideas, you have to actually then demonstrate that, yes, the people walking in through that door, like you remember, the guy surprised that you're number 99. I mean, it's really so gratifying that I have made it through that door. Yeah. I am on the other side. And that is how life is going to be. You know, as you grow up throughout your life, even when you're 70, there will be that moment when you know, if I can walk through that door, my life is going to change. Yeah. And it's up to me. It's up to me to work. It could even be business. You're working hard to win a tender or to win a business deal. Yeah, and exactly. That's the way life is going to be. That's the kind of people like Elon Musk and others. They are people who love the fight, you know, and they had to develop that kind of culture, fighting it out with other people and competing, and actually the gratification of, I fought this through this, and here I am. So maybe we can wrap up, because we are out of time, by just saying the most important lesson you learned through those 4 years in high school, what you really are taking away to the rest of your life. You know, I mean, when you think about it, as I go out into the rest of my life, this is the most important lesson I'm taking out there.
Mine, I will take out 2 verses.
Right.
One was Hebrews 11:1. It says, now faith is the substance of all things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith carried me.
Right.
The next one is Psalms 30, verse 5.
Right.
It says, the places where you cried, you will laugh in those places, and I will be with you every step of the way.
Wow.
Yes, that was an assurance for me. Yeah, and I came to learn the spiritual part of the word favor. Favor is where men will be willing to contribute in your success.
Yes.
Teachers, students, everybody will be willing to contribute to your success. That's what I'm taking home from Mang.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. You know, Jeff here is saying, nice show, proud of you guests. Absolutely. So, Emmanuel, you know, again, what is the most important lesson you learned? What are you taking out there the rest of your life? Just like Joshua said.
I'll have 2 takeaways.
Right.
First of all, it's God. And to summarize that, I'll give 2 verses. Proverbs 16, 1-3, and also Psalms 119, verse 9. Psalms is very good for people of our age, the youth, because it tells us how a young man can keep his ways pure in God by living according to his word. Number 2 is self-drive. Self-motivation summarizes things like time management, your partners, your friends, you know, and things like that. Because every time there'll be a bell ringing in your head, I have to do something. There's something I've accomplished, I have a goal and I want to accomplish it. So if you have your own self-drive, you'll be able to know what time am I supposed to do this, who is going to help me, who am I going to associate myself with, and with that, I think I'm just good with that.
Right.
Those two summarize enough for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is amazing, and I really must appreciate you two guys, because your testament. I mean, given your scores, your testament that you worked through. You had to maybe the place of discipline, self-discipline. Sometimes you've talked about denying yourself sleep. What are some of the things that you had to deny yourself, even over the holidays? Emmanuel.
Of course, sleep was the most common of them all. I continued with the school routine even at home, waking up at 4 and sleeping up late, just to make sure that I polish up. Maybe I've forgotten a certain concept, just make sure that I've wrapped it up and make sure that anytime I'm woken up, I'm good with that subject or whatever topic that it was. I remember there's a time chemistry was a bit hard for me, so I had to really work it out. I had to work out chemistry, and God helped me in Form 4. I wrapped it up and was able to complete with it. I also had to, of course, sometimes you have to deny yourself the pleasures of life. There's sometimes you just want to relax, but you realize that, as I said, you have a goal, so you have to make sure that you keep moving to achieve it. There's sometimes that people just want to rest and just sleep and, eat, but there's sometimes you have to restrict yourself because you have your own self-discipline. I don't do this, I don't do that. People invite you to do other things that maybe are not godly, for example, and it'll seem fun to them, at high school level, but you have to know yourself. When you realize yourself, you're able to realize who you are, what you carry. You'll know your trajectory, you'll know your path in life. When it's defined, you'll know everything that has to do, as long as you ask God to guide you.
Wonderful, wonderful, absolutely amazing. Thank you so very much, you two gentlemen. Let me just make sure that I don't leave out the guys on YouTube. Amazing. There are so many comments here on the YouTube. Jerem Global Watch, thanks Pastor Gichuki for hosting this very important show. It goes a long way in channeling the direction of our sons. I am Pastor Jokonaya Musembi, father to JM Kariuki. My goodness, your dad is watching here. Emmanuel Lab Supplies, wonderful show. We are watching. I know. Jerem Global Watch. Wow, great to hear that Pastor Gichuki is a Mangu alumnus. That's correct, actually. Somebody, these are your friends. These are Jerem Global Watch. I don't know. I'm hoping JM takes Emmanuel contact. I love his testimony. Yeah, so make sure you exchange your contacts. That's Emmanuel. I like your testimony and your variance in spiritual battles. Whoa, I'm liking what I'm hearing from JM. It's so fulfilling to know that this young man listened to us as parents, and your parents are so absolutely amazing. Apostle Derek Kasuna, what do they want to do in life? I know that's a question we always like asking young people. What do you want to do in life? I think, even though we don't have time to ask that question, but I think given the battles you've fought, that confidence and what you've been able to achieve prepares you for whatever you dream to do. I am not going to ask you that question. We can do another show and then maybe ask you that question. Maybe you will have prepared. You have the world to conquer. So you go conquer the world, whatever you want to do. And your parents should not get in your way. All right? All right. So I think you need to just look at that camera in 1 second and thank those who are watching and tell them, yes, we'll see you soon.
Thank you to all of our viewers out there. We love you. Thank Apostle for hosting this show. And we look forward to being here again. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Emmanuel, some of your parents and people have been watching. I think you can just look at that camera and thank them and wish them well.
First of all, thank you for having me. It was great being in this show. Shout out to my parents. You've really done a lot in my life. Another shout out to Apostle David Juma and Pastor Sunta. Your wisdom is priceless. To Meru School, all my teachers, Wakem, Wakiswahili, we went through a lot, and I thank you for your labor, your time. You really helped me, and God has brought me this far. I thank you so much. And also to my other friends and other viewers who are viewing, thank you so much for spending your time to view this show, and God bless you all.
Wonderful. That's all we had for you. This is the Monday Morning Digest. It's been an exciting experience here hosting these young men. And I tell you what, these guys are going places. Watch out, and may the Lord bless you. Let's keep talking. Let's keep pushing these ideas forward, and looking forward to hosting more of the students. Maybe I think students have more stories to tell us than even you parents. May the Lord bless you, and have a great week. And it's bye for now. God bless you. Bye-bye.